So we're going to focus today on an important topic when it comes to building sustainable teams. We're going to look at how we manage energy in the team and how we can, through managing the energy, we can increase personal and organizational productivity and effectiveness. And we're happy to have with us an expert in that area. We're going to speak today and interview Mark Guilbert, and we're going to be welcoming Mark in a minute. Okay, so welcome Mark, and thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for inviting me. Nice to be here.
Always a pleasure. Tell us about when I know that you do a lot of your work on managing the energy levels in the teams, in the organizations, and helping leaders dealing with that in their teams. And one of your mottos when you give conferences is that the body is business relevant. So what do you mean by that, and why is it relevant, and what dimensions would you give your advice would be relevant for a team to work on?
Well, okay, Energizing the Business Athlete, which is the program. This is what I started to develop back in 1999. Mm-hmm. It's still a work in progress. And it really consists of three separate but related dimensions. So you have the physically prepared dimension, so this is about physical activity, but how you use physical activity as a recovery technique, not an additional source of stress and fatigue on a body that's already stressed and fatigued. You have mindful eating, and also you have sleep. And sleep really is the foundation of the physical dimension. Second dimension is about being mentally engaged, so you have mental focus, having a directed mind, mental strength, which is how you improve your resilience, and finally mental recharge. And then the final dimension is about being emotionally connected. This is about self-smart, change smart, and people smart. So those are the three separate but related dimensions, and they're all equally as important as each other.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it has to do with the individual. How does the individual manage their energy level at a physical, at a mental and emotional level? And then when it comes to leadership, what we see in organizations is that a lot of organizations that focus their culture on productivity, but not that much on recovery. So what tips would you give to leaders for them to be able to create a culture that combines performance on one hand, but performance that integrates the notion of recovery and energy management?
Well, I think first and foremost, you've got to come away from this work-life balance. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone's talking about work-life balance today. And personally, I don't follow that avenue at all, because work is just one of the elements that makes up your life. So this is where you look at stress recovery integration, and this is really the key to success. And this is where it actually starts with leadership. You know, leadership is not a position, it's not a title on a business card, it's a decision, and it's a decision to be taking care of other people's physical, mental and emotional well-being. Sure. And to do that effectively, you have to pay the price of success with yourself first. Therefore, you know, taking care of yourself is important, but it's also about, as a leader, taking care of your people.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think leaders could do better?
Well, I think leadership is failing today, and failing in the respect of they're not creating environments that are a more effective, safer, and healthier way of working for their people. Meaning that the people are adopting new behaviors, but they're going into an environment that doesn't support them. So I think leadership has to understand that they have to start changing the environment so they actually support these behaviors being adopted by their people.
Mm-hmm. And quite often when we talk to leaders, they consider the energy management is a personal thing and it's not part of leadership. So what tips would you give to leaders who would like to care about this and work on that with their teams?
Well, I think there are many areas being neglected today, but I think the number one area is certainly sleep in society in general, but especially in the corporate world. So I would advise anybody today to be protecting their sleep. There are many advices you can give concerning this and many top tips, I think, but if I was to give one today, it would be to look at the regularity of your sleep. So going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time daily is fundamental because the body craves regularity when it comes to sleep. It's not just about the duration of that sleep or the quality of it. Regularity is just as important.
Okay, so getting regular sleep schedules would be then a top tip for business leaders and their teams. And yeah, we're going to conclude on that today. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
In addition to this short video interview, if you'd like some more information on sleep, please click on the link below.